Switching gears to hockey now. Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada is this weekend on Saturday. Ron MacLean and the Hockey Night in Canada crew broadcasting from coast to coast to coast, highlighting, of course, the sport we all love. Ron joining us live this morning with a preview. And Ron, we should remind everyone, you just flew out of Calgary yesterday, didn't you, after hometown hockey?
We had an incredible visit to Cochrane. Maybe I'll tell you about that in a moment. Ted, just want to say it's Valentine's Day, so it's a day to celebrate our love of hockey, but I want to thank you. I always think, Ted, when I hear you and see the show BT Calgary, I have the honor of working with Tara Sloan when we did the show in Cochrane on Sunday, and you're the guy who showed her the way. So we're grateful to have her on Rogers Hometown Hockey, but I always think of that.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, but Tara, she's quite a talented human being on her own, so there you go. She showed me how to do a few things, right? So let's talk about Saturday. There's 3 NHL games wrapped around a full day of events for you guys, and you're in Kenora this year.
Kenora is a really neat story in and of itself. It's the smallest town ever to win the Stanley Cup in 1907. They brought in Art Ross from Brandon, but it was essentially a bunch of kids from Kenora. Tommy Phillips, Cy Griffiths, these were great oarsmen. They were rowers who, ironically, would win things called the Henley Regatta. You'll like that. But they went into Montreal, beat the mighty Wanderers. Amazing story. Mike Richards, a great NHLer from there. Mike Smith, the decathlete, made his home in Calgary. Won medals all over the world, is from there. So everything seems to be bigger than it ought to be when we talk about Kenora. That's the host, and as you say, we have the NHL broadcasts, including Calgary, Vancouver, and there's a couple of really neat things happening with that matchup. Pat Quinn, they're putting a statue in his honor outside Rogers Arena. Could go on for hours about Pat Quinn and what he means to the game, and his legacy will be honored. And Johnny Gaudreau, I know he's having a really tough time, got sent onto the fourth line again last night, but we got a great story about Johnny Hockey helping out some of the victims of the fires in Fort McMurray, so maybe that'll perk him up.
And it's interesting you talk about stories because it's not just about the hockey games on Saturday. You're also weaving stories throughout the broadcast, right?
Well, you know, on Sunday night after hometown hockey in Cochrane, I sat with Matt Brown, who's a sports psychologist at Edge School right outside the city, and we talked about children and about pressures and about the fine line between dreams coming true and the inner turmoil of being in that situation, being in the NHL, or being, as is the case with the Calgary Inferno. We sat down with Jessica Campbell and Sarah Davis, 2 women who are right there thinking 1 week from now they'll unveil the World Championship roster. It's just an incredible time of pins and needles for them, and Matt taught me a lot over a beer. I sat with Dan Gender, the coach of the Generals, the junior B team in Cochrane. So it isn't about just the NHL hockey broadcast. You're right, Ted. It's about learning how to be involved in sport and how to do well in life. That's really what the 13 hours is all about.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Scotiabank is all over this because I know, coaching minor hockey here in the city of Calgary, that Scotiabank is very, very involved at the grassroots level, right?
You know, even back to the days when Brian McFarlane was a super host on Hockey Night in Canada, and he had the Scotiabank Hockey College. Brian was a great player, played at St. Lawrence University, and they've always had the link to the game. When we're on site in Kenora, we'll have Cassie Campbell-Pascal, who's obviously a great ambassador for Scotiabank, Darcy Tucker. Wendell Clark will be appearing, Ted, at his 13th consecutive Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada. So the bank does that for us. They bring in great alumni for Rogers Hometown Hockey. But this is really their baby, the one show a year where we kind of declare an unofficial Canada Day.
I was chatting with Jill just during the commercial break, and we wonder how many air miles you rack up every year between, you know, Hockey Night in Canada based out of Toronto, but it's Kenora this weekend, and of course Rogers Hometown Hockey. You're crisscrossing all over the place. How's your stamina, my friend? Are you okay?
You know, that super protein shake that comes out of a brown bottle, that's the only thing that keeps me alive, I think, Ted. But that, if I'd stopped that, maybe I'd have a little more energy. I will say that it's just, you know, this weekend Kenora, and then I drive into Winnipeg, fly to Vancouver, and fly into Cranbrook to see Tara on Sunday night. It's exciting. It's blessedly, through the winter, as the French proverb says, every mile is 2 in winter. You know, it was really challenging even to get out to Toronto this past Sunday and into gorgeous Cochrane. The Chinook Arch was what begets today's record 13 degrees. It's very exciting. It really is. The stories, things that I learn and we learn, but also the fun of trying to do it in the heart of winter it's been kind of a thrill.
There you go. Good stuff. Thank you, Ron. Always a pleasure to chat with you. And best of luck this Saturday. Have fun in Cranbrook on Sunday. And next time you're in the city, let's have you in studio the next time we chat, okay?
It's a date.
It's a date. Booked. I'm writing it down. Thank you, my friend. Good luck for the rest of the week, of course, as you prep for the Hockey Day in Canada this Saturday. We have a giveaway to get you into the spirit of things this weekend. We have 3 prize packs to give away this morning. Just hit up our website, breakfasttelevision.ca, click on contest, scroll down to daily prizing to enter. Please tell us you're entering for the Hockey Day in Canada prize. No purchase necessary. Full rules on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca, and best of luck. And do tune in this Saturday. The first game is 12 p.m. Winnipeg against Montreal. Ottawa's taking on Toronto at 5. And then, of course, Calgary's taking on the Canucks on the West Coast. Calgary's in Vancouver for that game. That's the late game on Hockey Night in Canada. And Ron and Don Cherry and the whole gang from Hockey Night, they're involved all day long this Saturday. It is going to be one great day celebrating the game we love.